And Mark, that'll bring us to the biggest men of the night. 264.5 pounds, 120 kilos. We're talking about Aleksey Voronin representing Russia and Tolly Thompson representing Team USA.
Yeah, Tolly is one of our 30-year-old plus gentlemen that we've got wrestling tonight. So we've had the elder statesman, and we've had the eldest statesman. I guess he's somewhere in the middle, but he's had a long, storied, great career. He was a NCAA champion in college.
Aleksey for Russia, second in the 2005 World University Championships, and right now has a leg on the big man from the USA. And he will get a point. So good job for Voronin, as it looks like Russia will be back up on top here early in this final bout.
It's kind of interesting thinking about Tolly Thompson's career. I mean, it's spanning a long time now as an adult. He was the NCAA champion, as I mentioned, in 1995, and then in 2005, 10 years later, he's a bronze medalist in the World Championship. So, you know, he's kept it at a high level for a long time, and that's not easy to do.
Tolly with a leg right now, trying to hang on to it.
Well, he was in pretty deep. I thought he...
Oh, man.
Oh, you know what?
A huge push right there.
Oh, man, I'm glad he came out of that okay. I thought he landed right on his head. That did not look like a good finish, so I'm glad he's all right.
It didn't sound good either. These guys are huge, especially Tolly. I mean, you can just see the physical mass.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tolly actually wrestled larger than this when he was in college.
6'4", by the way.
The college weight limit for heavyweight is 285 pounds. So those guys that tip the scales at that weight, they actually have to cut weight. And again, coming back to the lightweight, big weight thing, the lightweights get a big kick out of the fact, oh, that was a nice shot, nice sweeping single. There's a finish. That puts him ahead. That puts the Russian ahead.
By the way, a quick nod to World Sports Chicago. World Sports Chicago, newly created sports organization whose mission is to enhance the image, awareness, and the participation in Olympic sports across Chicago. And, of course, they're hosting this Chicago Cup 2007. Chicagoan and Olympic triple jump gold medalist Michael Connolly is the new executive director at World Sports Chicago, so we thank them.
Yeah, they've done a fine job putting this on, and here's the takedown for Tolly where, you know what, I do think he might have hurt his neck because he was rubbing it out at the end of the period, and that's you know, 500 pounds coming down kind of hard there. I'm not sure that didn't do some damage.
We'll start off this second period. The Russian right now, a Russian winning period number 1. So Team USA and Tolly Thompson has to get after it here, and let's hope that neck is not injured.
Well, and the thing about international wrestling is you really don't want to take an injury time out unless you absolutely have to. If there's blood involved, if your nose is bleeding or something, they take an injury time out to stop that, no big deal. But if you take an injury time out for an injury, when you go back onto the mat, your opponent has the option of starting on top of you if he wants, and then you start to get turns and tilts. So, you know, not something you want to do lightly. Again, it keeps the action flowing.
But Chicago Cup 2007 Olympic-style wrestling is just one of the many programs that showcase WYCC TV20's commitment to the Chicagoland's diverse population. Another example of that would be the afternoon cooking block, where the food fair runs the gamut from traditional Italian to cutting-edge Japanese and everything in between. And all wrestlers appreciate a good meal.
Well, I was going to say...
when they're allowed to eat them.
Oh, but you know what? Tolly was in on that leg so deep. I have no idea how he slipped out of that, except for, I got to say, I think his neck, I think he's hurting. Because he was in very deep in that. There was just very... there was nothing evident as to why he would have slipped out of that position. That's too bad. That's too bad. That's a tough way to wrap up our evening.
And these guys are extremely tough, no question. I mean, we've actually seen people at the Midlands wrestle with a broken bone in the neck. I mean, these guys are so tough. It's unexplainable, but you know, if it's hurting you, if you're in physical pain as you're going on, it's very hard to overcome that at this level.
Yeah, we're winding down here on this second period, and if Tolly has a throw, it's a good time for it to get back in this match.
And it's not going to happen.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Our Russian wins the second period, wins the match.
And Tolly just looks absolutely exhausted, or quite possibly tired and in pain, one of the two.
Well, that's our last match of tonight, and Ken, I've got to tell you, there was some fun, exciting action tonight. Appreciate you being here.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure of mine as we look at a replay of this, and you know, I think the positive note of this is that Team USA knows what they have to do and where they have to go if they're going to fare well at the 08 games. We'd like to thank everybody for watching WYCC TV 20 and the inaugural Chicago Cup. It was certainly very exciting. For Mark Masry, I'm Ken Stout. We're going to send it back down to Ted Brunson, who's standing at Matt's side with one of our coaches.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I'm with Kevin Jackson, who is the head coach of Team USA, and you can tell by the look on his face, Kevin, not very happy about the outcome here at Northwestern other than a couple of your wrestlers.
Yeah, we're very disappointed. I mean, we had a great crowd. Chicago put on a great show. They hosted us for one of the first dual meets that we've had in the country with prize money, and our athletes come out and they perform real poor. So it's very disappointing. We figured we had these guys on our own home turf in America. They're just getting off the plane a couple hours ago, and we don't compete. So it's very disappointing.
Where do you go from here? I know you've got your eyes focused on, everybody's got their eyes focused on the 08 Olympics. You've got a lot to do before then. There's a lot to go on. Every guy is battling for one spot in each weight position. But where do you go after you came from Iran, then you came over here for this dual meet? You guys are constantly busy and promoting the sport of wrestling, which although the outcome was not good tonight, it's great for the overall sport and for America.
Well, no doubt. Just the performance that 2016 put on, hosting us here, Bill Shear having us here. It's been an outstanding job for us. It's been a standing promotion for the sport of wrestling. So we really do appreciate it. As far as our team is concerned, we got to start looking for guys that can get the job done. A couple of these guys might not be there in 08, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're not there. But we got to find the guys that can win, that can beat Russians, that can beat Iranians, and that can win in Beijing. So definitely, as far as the promotion of the sport, as far as what Chicago did to promote the sport, we're thrilled. But with our performance, we're extremely disappointed.
Well, with the performances of guys like Mo Lawal and a couple other dudes, they definitely have it on the right track. And this is the inaugural Chicago Cup, and I know you're looking forward to coming back next year and facing the world's best. That's if you aren't the world's best. You'll face the second best.
We're definitely coming back, and I guarantee we'll have a much better performance if we have this event again. Hopefully it's going to be an annual event, and definitely we're going to come back to win next year.
Well, Ken and Mark, as the fans, the thousands of them, file out of Welsh Ryan Arena and hit the snowy roads for home in early February, the assessment of tonight is a great event. Olympic-like atmosphere, as we said before, electric in the air. Not so great for Team USA, only winning 2 matches. It's definite that the Russians have an advantage right now in the sport of wrestling, but things can change. And after talking to Kevin Jackson tonight, he seems bound and determined to get some guys out of here who are not determined to become gold medalists.
What should an event like this mean to 2016?
Well, I think it gives 2016 great exposure for Olympic sport. We have almost 8,000 people here tonight supporting World Chicago sport, and in fact reaching out for Olympic sport activities to show Chicago really behind the Olympic 2016 initiative. Very important for us.
Yeah, the mission of World Sport Chicago is to help improve the Olympic sport and Olympic movement in the city of Chicago and worldwide. We can have events like this that help sports like wrestling, not only in the USA, but overall. We can have a top-notch international event. We can also expose the city of Chicago, the kids in the city of Chicago, to Olympic wrestling. We had a demonstration tonight before the matches where we had over 1,000 kids learning from the best in the world. That's what we're trying to do at World Sport Chicago.
In 1971, the Russians came, and we had the place packed. It was a great match, and Dan Gable, who had won the NCAA twice, pinned his opponent that night. It was another great time. And then 1984, Bill Shear, who's the chairman of Chicago Sport, beat the 2-time Olympic champion Oganessian. So 2 great days, and we've got